If you're thinking, how am I supposed to know what to do before watching at least one example? The answer is you will be able to sometimes, at least part of the problem. Math builds on itself, and we teach math in a certain order so that earlier bits of knowledge put together lead naturally to later bits. So you will often be able to make a connection and do something before I've shown you how to do it. Now let's address that elephant in the room, that question I always get from students. Why should I waste energy trying when I can already tell I don't know how to do it? It's just more efficient to wait for you to show me, Dr. Joshua. Actually, the reverse is true. It turns out that it is far, far less efficient to just wait for a teacher to show you what to do. We now know that struggling with a math problem and trying to get somewhere on it is a crucial part of learning. It's called productive struggle, and it's how people learn to be better and better at math. This is not only for general character building like grit or perseverance, though there's that too. I'm telling you that when you try a challenging task before I show you how to do it, you are building more mathematical knowledge. A group of researchers tested this out by dividing students into two groups. Half of the students in the red group got really hard problems, and no one even expected them to finish all of them. The other half in the blue group got pretty standard problems the researchers thought they could do. Then they were both tested on the same easier problems. And do you know who did better on the test? The red group. The very act of working on challenging problems they couldn't complete kind of stretched them intellectually and mathematically, and they beat the other group. The other group that had practiced doing problems of similar difficulty to the test. Researchers have repeated this experiment many, many times, and the red group keeps doing better on the test. This shows that it's not just productive to struggle, even failure is still productive. Even if you can't finish a problem, truly, intensively trying for an extended period of time gets you more ready to learn and more prepared to do both easier and harder problems. I see this over and over in my classroom. All teachers do. I remember one year when I gave my geometry students this challenge problem about area. Roberto usually didn't try very hard and was currently failing my class, but for some reason this problem grabbed his attention, and he was sure he could figure it out, and he worked on it in his group with unusual focus. I could hear them trying and discarding different strategies as I walked around the room. His group did not solve the problem on their own, but when I explained how they needed to think about the problem, he was the first to understand what I was saying, and he explained it to the others. His effort was not wasted. His failure was not wasted. Your brain needs to struggle with not knowing exactly what to do next and trying to figure it out, so that then when you press play and watch the next section of my video, your brain experiences a resolution to a problem it was facing. Either it gets a confirmation, yes, I was on the right track, or no, I see now why that's not true. Either way, that experience helps your brain to both understand and to remember. When I was a high school math teacher running to more college classes after work, this math textbook had only maybe one example per idea. In math, the higher you go, the less examples there are in textbooks. So do you know what I did as soon as I saw an example? I wouldn't read it because that would be wasting a precious, rare resource. I would grab a piece of paper and cover up the explanation and work really hard to do the problem on my own. Only after I had wrung all the opportunity out of that example would I move the paper to compare my work to the book. I did this because by then I'd finally learned how to maximize my learning. It took me many years to learn to stop and try first. I want to help you figure this out faster. What I say after the stop, think, and try will assume you did this and had that experience. So you need to have those experiences to get the most out of what I say next. Just remember, whether you succeed or fail at finishing a math problem, the struggle prepares you to learn more.